We're going to start off with the rear annulus. I already lubed up this back portion of the rear annulus here, and then we're going to set it down onto this reverse drum. Lube this area of the rear drum also, because that's where the rear planetary is going to sit. Or I mean the rear annulus. So the rear planetary, make sure that you have your thrust washer in place. And I grease this up here. And there's a thrust washer on this side of the rear planetary also. What I like to do here is I set it down like this, like a sandwich. That makes it kind of easier to put the rear planetary while it's meshed in with the rear annulus, the rear drum. There you go, that's in place. Now you may be wondering, wait a minute, I put a thrust washer in place in place of the rear annulus. On the rear annulus, you'll have a plate. You have a thrust plate. Let me show that to you. Usually on the rear annulus, you'll have a washer right here. It's like a big one. And that's where your rear planetary will ride on without a thrust washer. When I got the new planetary, the new annulus, it did not have the washer here. So I kind of did some searching, and some knowledgeable folks said, if you can, as long as you can get the end plate of the transmission in spec, then you kind of don't really need that thrust plate in there. That's the rear planetary is in place. After that, you're going to take your sun gear and shell. You're going to lube the gear and this thrust plate here. This is pretty much a thrust washer, a glorified thrust plate, or thrust washer, but you'll want to lubricate this area here and lubricate the thrust washer here and the gear on this side and the bushings. Don't forget the bushings. Spin this around so it meshes in there. Give it a spin. Yeah, spins all right. Now we're going to take the front planetary and the front annulus. This is the front annulus. Grease this up good and grease this area here where the thrust washer is going to be riding on. And grease this side also of the front annulus, because this is where your sun gear and shell thrust washer is going to sit on. And just like before, I kind of like to do this. I grab the front planetary, just like I did with the rear planetary, and set it in there. And spin it as you're kind of going in there so it doesn't getting cockeyed. There you go. So that's in as a group. And set that on top of the sun gear and shell. Make sure everything is kind of happy where it is. And this is pretty much the assembled product. Now all we need to do now is just put this on the input shaft and we're done here. Also, there's a little bit of a thing I wanted to talk about is why am I using the new planetaries and a new rear front and the rear annulus? Well, the thing here is after some certain years, the Chrysler changed the gear pitch on some of the annuluses and the planetary gears. So you cannot exactly put a 64 transmission planetary into a 72 Chrysler front annulus, because the gear pitches are different. So when you try to put the planetaries in place, the planetary will not exactly sit flush inside the annulus. It'll make like a groaning, because the gears are not exactly meshing correctly. So right there, I did have to cough up an extra $100 to get the front annuluses and something like that, something along those lines. I think I'll have an estimate roughed up at the end of this entire transmission build, and kind of pretty much note what expenses I had to do. So yeah, that is the main point, is do not take a different year transmission and try to fit it onto another year transmission, because you're probably going to get fitment issues.